Hey, Jenny.
Hey, welcome to a Wake the Freak Up episode. My name is
Hi,
Jennifer Clarascura,
my name's Tree Car.
and today we're going to have a conversation about lucid dreaming.
Yeah, I think it's about time, Jennifer.
So we tackle this. Well,
I mean,
it's the beginning of a conversation because we're going to be touching upon lucid dreaming in the future as well. So
yeah, and I think you and I were in touch every day, and we're always immersed in the dream work, which is not necessarily, having lucid dreams every night. It's taking all the dreams, every single style of dream that you can have, and working with it, and to enrich your life and to um, explore your consciousness in the dream state. So I kind of, because on average, it would seem as, we get more of the normal dreams than the lucid dreams. It seems to be a bit of a shame that those dreams go to waste.
that's
Because
true.
I don't think you should waste any dream, because it is your consciousness having an experience, even though you're not, fully 100% lucid like you would in a lucid dream. Because I think with dreams, Jennifer, you agree too, I think, that there's a sort of a scale of lucidity. So if you look at it like a spectrum of lucidity,
Oh,
like
yeah.
one end being completely unconscious, the other one being highly, completely aware and lucid in the dream state. We are always along that spectrum somewhere. So you can probably attest to that. You've had a dream before where you're dreaming, but you're not fully lucid. You're like, I'm just observer. I'm watching this. I'm going to learn from this dream. So, but you are to a certain extent conscious and lucid in the dream, but just as a sitting back and observing and learning from the dream rather than
Well,
like interact.
well, that's a part of the practice of conscious dreaming. It is to be conscious enough to understand that the whole gamut of dreams is important in its own way. And I feel like yeah, I also, like you, learn from every stage, even the do you hear that?
It's the lucid dream calling us in to become lucid. The lucid dream trigger. No, I don't. I
Yeah,
think it might.
every night I have the whole spectrum, I could say, of lucidity to regular dreams, and it goes and beyond. Like, I also have the spectrum of the metaphysical dream journeys. I guess I call them metaphysical or esoteric because they're the ones that are probably not what science will say is a part of the dream cycle. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
um,
it's kind of like some people call it a soul journey,
Soul journey, exactly, yeah.
and it's kind of like, I guess, a shamanic journeying in a way sometimes.
It's more associated with shamanic journeying or out of body, but I I can't seem to separate them from dream journeys because to me it feels like a part of the dream.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, it's funny when I hear the categorizing because I feel sometimes like no, is that like giving them an excuse to call dreams like shamanic dreaming, almost like, no, that's a spiritual practice, which it is, but it's also a very much a part of regular dream practice, and a lot of people practice it but they don't realize that they're practicing it.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, there's so many different words and phrases and brands for the different types and styles of dreaming, um, and consciousness within the dream state. Yeah, I guess I always just stick to that, like that spectrum and that sliding scale. And one isn't better than the other. But the thing is, with us dream work people, or whatever the hell you want to call us, it would seem as if everyone obviously wants to go for the lucid dream, and it's that's the big goal. And there's a lot of like pressure and strife and striving to get to that lucid dreamer pinnacle. um it's so much so that people just discard the other dreams altogether. So I think there can be like it's a bit, I guess it's a bit sad, when you think about it, that there's more to it than just the lucid dreaming, although we all want the lucid dreams too.
I do dream work with my lucid dreams, but it's a little different than regular dream work. Because in lucid dream work, which I actually made a video about it, but I guess I'm going to mention some things in here. In the lucid dream work, what's more symbolic than the actual things, although the things are also symbolic, it's the moment when transitions happen. It's almost like the transition to lucidity, the moment you become lucid. That moment is very important to me. Like, what was going on right at that moment? And then how did lucidity play out in the dream? And then when did it end? So it does, to me, have a story in and of itself. And I do try to also do my light and shadow work with, like, either after or within it. But I guess that's the only thing that lucid dreaming can have that is more fun, because it's not that it's more effective than the actual dream work, is that you could do your shadow work in real time. You can also do your shadow work as it happens in dreams, but in a lucid dream, you're more likely to be more conscious of what you're doing and actually think about it in real time. Like, there's a lot of times when I've done dream work in real time, and it's pretty interesting. Like you've mentioned before, asking a dream character, what does he represent? Or integrating a shadow in a lucid dream and things like that. That's the richness that a lucid dream can give you in regards to dream work. But the beauty about regular dreams and the dream work in those is that you were completely out of the way. Therefore, the dream gave you more of a detailed spectrum of where the issues might lie, or what work you need to do in your life, because you were not, in the way.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah, when you get your head and your ego out of the way, you can observe yourself.
I think with a lot of lucid dreamer goals, though, there's a lot of ego involved. It would seem as though it's just an extension of our materialistic consumerism, just translated into dream state. So everyone wants to just, get in the fastest car, or the fastest airplane, or hop on a hot celebrity and have a ride. But it's strange how, like, it's being, some can get translated into that. But there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. We're all free beings of will and choice and consciousness exploration, and some of us need to explore that aspect of the dream state. I guess what I'm saying is that, there's so much more beyond that. Like, it's like you said, when there's a dissolution of ego, and then you're able to see kind of like the bigger picture aspects of your journey, and unpacking it and integrating it, and waking up like completely transformed in some kind of way, not just tiddling.
Yeah, because the usual mentality is, what can I get from this, instead of what is being gifted to me by the dream, by consciousness. I guess okay, let's talk about man and woman, right? The male aspects of ourselves are like do, get, and the women are more receptive. I'm not saying women, I'm saying our female energy is the receptive energy, the creative energy. And I feel like when it's out of balance, I guess it's just doing. And I used to be that type of person that would go into a lucid dream, wipe the scene, create buildings, shit, whatever the hell I wanted. And it was, I was going in one of my manifestation sprees.
Yeah.
When finally I made everything white out. But when I did that, it didn't white out. What happened was that, the scene sort of wiped out, but there was sand and an ocean. And I didn't create that. I had willed it to wipe out, like blank. So at that moment, I felt like it was really pretty. So I just stared into the horizon. I kept thinking to myself, like wondering why it didn't wipe out, and then I just started being present, like, oh, this is pretty. I'm just going to stare out into the ocean. This is just like staring out into a real ocean. And that's when I saw little bubble in the distance. I saw a little bubble, like bubble, you know. And at first I freaked because I'm right at the shore, and I thought, oh, something's gonna come out and like eat me, or you know what? This was the first time that I was faced with the unknown, like in a lucid dream.
Hmm.
Something bubbled. I didn't know what it was, and it was the first time that I trusted it. And I was like, no, just stay, like just stay, trust, like don't try to alter it, wipe it, you know, just allow it to happen, allow it to
That's true.
happen. And what
Yeah.
came out were two gigantic dolphins, and they both came side by side, and they raised their tails, and I think they opened their mouths, but to like emit a sound. What happened was that their energy that hit me was completely divine, and I just threw myself to the ground in complete gratitude. Like I'd never done that before, like just forehead to the sand, just saying thank you, thank you, thank you, because the energy was that divine, it was that heart opening. But that was the beginning of my journey of non just do, and
Yeah.
rather create from a place of being and trusting that the dream is going to show me something if I am grateful enough and worthy enough, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember that kind of shift too. And I remember when I was younger, lucid dreaming, and it was very goal orientated and create and control. And that worked for a while. Create, control, fly around, and get, into all types of trouble. And like, but then I do remember when those skills started to not work anymore in the dream. And I remember that, and I remember the like kind of losing the superpower, so to speak. And it was at that point where, again, very much like you, I basically just started to ask the dream to show me something. So I would surrender more to the dream. So I relinquished control, relinquished the task driven, goal orientated mindset going into the lucid dream, and changing it up and saying, dream, thank you for this lucid gift, and what do you have to show me? And actually, some of the most powerful lucid dreams that I have had is when I've surrendered to the dream and just asked it to show me something. And those were the most profound ones. But in the beginning, we all start off by, this is great. I can just make
Well,
things appear out of nowhere.
let's think about it. If the male side it also should play a part within it, then there is room for creation and for goal setting, but it shouldn't be without the other side. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And sometimes you have to go to one side completely to understand it. And I do understand what it means, like you, to completely surrender. That's why I felt it was important to create a video about it, and I did. And I was very happy because it was the first time that I've populated my Lucid Dream YouTube channel in a while. I still have to edit the video, but I remember thinking, yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was about receiving that gift. So
it's wonderful. That's good. Yeah, you learn. It's like, as a dreamer, it's like you evolve as well. From the early days of dream work, and the early days of being a lucid dreamer. So weird, when you think about it, like you think about your first lucid dreams and how they've evolved and shaped since you were a child.
do you remember your first lucid dream?
Yeah, so my first lucid dream was like in 1975.
Oh, the year I was
That really,
born.
really saying my age here, really telling my age
I know,
here.
I
But
just said the year I was born, so.
yeah, and it was a bit older than you, Jenny, but I would have still a little whippersnapper.
Oh.
But yeah, some of my earliest memories are of dreams and lucid dreams, and they were quite. I think my early lucid dreams when I was a 3-4 year old kid, they were more, I was more surrendered to the dream. I was more open to the dream. It was almost as though there was no difference between my wakefulness consciousness and my sleeping consciousness. And I think as children we're closer to those realms anyway. I mean, they say that like children who are toddlers and before they go into school, their brain waves are actually like slower in dream state brain waves, like theta waves. And that's why you see children, talking to imaginary friends and like talking out loud, and they're in play mode, they're in a flow. And so I think my lucid dreams, my very early ones, were like that. They were very much in flow, and I was surrendered to the dream. So I remember dreams of like flying through the planets and stars, like being out in the galaxy, like very vividly. And then as I got older, my dreams shifted and changed. We go into school, and then you've got like the stresses of school, kids, society, bullying,
Yeah.
you name it.
Well,
And I remember,
that's when the collective starts to play a big role. Yeah,
yeah, and your brain waves change as well. They start getting into,
totally.
active beta brain waves and menial tasks. And so my lucid dreams changed. They changed in a way where I would go lucid during nightmares. So I would change the outcome, and I would always
Ooh.
like be able to control the outcome of a nightmare and transform it, either fly away or change the monster into something funny. So I was doing that as like a little kid. And so my lucid dreams became more of like zones where I had to combat things, and I had to protect myself. And then as a teenager, they became more, a little bit more cosmic again, but that was like flying around, having sex with people, like getting up to no good, being like, yeah, I'm a superhero, the ego fully formed. So it's interesting to see how they've evolved, and then moving into these different states of being, and your character and your ego, and it's all really fascinating. Have you noticed, Jennifer, your lucid dreams, did they change as you were growing up?
Yeah, my first lucid dream was I was having a recurring dream of some kind of a dragon or something chasing me up a hill in the forest. And I got tired of it. I just turned around one day and I was like, I can't run anymore. I'm just going to turn around, And I turned around and nothing was there. So that was the beginning of dreams. And then, yeah, I would fly away from the monsters and things like that. Sorry, my phone, I got to turn it off. And then it started evolving, but it all started evolving thanks to my dream work, because I began to treat everything like I would regular dreams. So as soon as I did that, I started to do shadow work with the lucid dreams, and that was interesting. I sacrificed my dream body to a giant snake. I sacrificed my dream body to a lion. And all these things help me to really face that fear within a dream and just be like, I'm not going to run. I'm going to figure this out and try to integrate or see what's going on,
Yeah.
And it shaped what my lucid dreams are today. And I have, there's some certain little milestone lucid dreams that one has where you're like, evolved,
Yeah.
like you're passing through little thresholds, and the lucid dream scape will give you that, like, its world changes as you change, I guess.
Yeah. That's the transformative power of the dream.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Definitely.
it's amazing.
So on that note, there's a huge movement in lucid dreaming now than more than there was in the past. And with
Mhm.
that comes a lot of comparison, like who is who within this community, I guess. And I think that when we created the Dream Freaks, it was because we felt like we didn't belong to a family. You know what I mean? Like, there were the dream workers that have, all these things that they do, but we're not a part of it. And then there were the lucid dreamers that were heavily into information of techniques and science facts, and it wasn't too esoteric, and we would probably be called crazy within that realm. So we created the dream freaks. This is why we have the dream freaks. But the more that we are in the dream freaks, the more that we changed ourselves by accepting, like what they tell you, like let your freak flag fly. The more we've let that flag fly, the more we found that the integration process is happening from both worlds. So I do believe that it changes inside of us.
Yeah, and it's so true, and you can see it. You can see the proof in the pudding, in the lucid pudding.
Lucid pudding.
I'm gonna get myself some lucid pudding.
I once was in a lucid dream where everything was edible, even the floor.
Oh wow, that's kind of interesting.
Nothing tasted that great though. It was kind of like so bland. A bland cracker. It's funny. So yeah, this is Tree and Jenny telling you guys to wake the freak up and find your lucid journey, your unique lucid journey, because it's going to be different for every person, and we all have to be accepting of how these things evolve, but at the same time understand that there is a female and male balance that needs to be integrated, because I feel like that's where the world is right now. It's almost like the integration process of a lot of the opposites is happening.
Yeah.
And one of them is this whole like male energy way of lucid dreaming versus female energy ways of lucid dreaming.
It's very interesting, Jennifer.
Like science and esotericism, all these things have to bridge somehow, and not to shut down anybody who is different, because everybody holds a piece of this puzzle, a piece of this mystery, and without the other person, without the other side, we will not find out what this is all about.
Yeah, and I've always expressed this concept that this is actually a collective pursuit. It's not an individualistic pursuit, although we might think it is. Like, I'm going to be a lucid dreamer, I'm going to be the best, I'm going to be better than that guy over there, and I'm going to be better than that person over there. But it's a consciousness evolution. Lucid dreaming is, and dreaming is all part of that spectrum. So when one person rises, we all rise. It's all something that we're collectively doing, just like the concept of the collective unconscious. This is something that just trickles out. So don't worry about it if you're not lucid dreaming after a month of practice. Just keep going, and not just keep going with your lucid dreaming, like reality checks and techniques and wake back to bed, and do your dream work. Make it a practice. Embody all of your dreams, take them all seriously, because it's an exploration of your consciousness. All of the dreams, no matter what degree of lucidity you have in the dream state, it's all effective. And the more you unpack your regular dreams, the more you have chances of actually going lucid as well.
Well, the more you're telling your subconscious that you're doing the work, because I feel like a lot of times the people who are not facing their shadow work probably will have less likely to become lucid, because like we said, it's almost like the lucidity gets gifted to you as you grow and grow in consciousness. Although for some people it's very natural and they'll still squander the ability.
Make it a video game.
To make lucid dreaming like just the ultimate goal and that it's the highly important thing, I think that's wrong, because all aspects of the dream are just as important. All those dreams that are not lucid are just as important. They are actually super important. So I'm excited with any sort of dream that I get every night. I'm excited with even snippets. I'll take it. I'll take it, and I'll take it like gratefully, with humility, and it's important to me. I don't care what kind of dream it is. It's important.
You know what? I'm going to go one step further and bring this into waking reality. And waking reality is important. So I know a lot of people want to get into dream work and lucid dreaming because they want to escape their reality. But you know what? This is this is the dream.
This is the waking dream. It's the waking
the
dream.
waking dream. And you need to, once you start doing the dream work and all of this stuff comes into play, and you realize that your waking moments are lucid moments, and it is dynamite. And this is what, everyone's looking for something beyond, but it's all actually here. This is it. I know this because
isn't that funny how that works? Like, it's right in front of your face, always.
Always, but people aren't waking up to that. But because I'm a death doula, so I guide people end of life, and people are facing death, and this is always so apparent to me because people realize that too late. As they're dying, they go, this was it. This was what it was all about.
It wasn't about what you don't have, right?
Exactly. No, it's all here.
So crazy. I often have this conversation with somebody really, really near me, really close to me, a close friend of mine, because they're always looking out, like, what's missing, what don't I have? And I'm always like, if you were just grateful for what you do have, that's a huge, huge foundational beginning. And also you can apply dream work to your waking life. So you can bring out meaning from your waking reality and grow from that, even if you don't dream at night. Yeah. Like, you have a waking reality that you can use dream work on, but there's the ego that wants things that another person has. But hey, if you don't dream and you've been trying all these techniques for a long time, then use your waking reality. Use what you got. Yeah, use what you got.
Use what you got and start being, lucid living, like start living lucidly. Exactly. I give this example.
Which is more important.
Yeah, totally. And I give this example when I do retreats and workshops, and actually it's in my book as well. I give this example of, when we're in a lucid dream, say you're in a lucid dream and you're walking through a park and you see a flower on the ground. And in the lucid dream, you go lucid, you pick up the flower. You end up looking at it going, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing ever. Look at the color, look at the petals. Yeah. Just like, wow.
A flower.
And people, freaking out in a lucid dream from finding a flower. But you know what? If you had exactly that same scene in reality, waking reality, you're walking through a park, there's a flower on the ground, you would just, look at it and keep walking, go, I got to get to, thinking about the lists you got to do or the worries from yesterday. But I challenge you to bend down and pick up that flower and look at it like you would in a lucid dream. This is where it gets interesting. So this is the thing that you want to bridge over, and this is almost like the lens in which you want to view your reality. It's like, this is the lucid dream. This is the amazing stuff. And the more you do that in your waking life, the more chances you go lucid. So you realize that's just an extension of your consciousness.
My son Wolfie, he stops for every flower.
Aww.
He was born a flower lover. Like, I think I have a little collection in my phone of the moments when he's bending down smelling flowers. He'll just sniff that shit up his nose, like, his grandfather was like that, the one that passed away.
Yeah.
Obsessed with flowers, and he would take photos of every flower he passed by. He had a camera on him all the time, and we would often be like waiting for him because he was just like, flowers. And I think Wolfie kind of like was born with that fascination to flowers. But yeah, when I look at him, I'm like, yeah, stop for the flowers, dude.
You would in a lucid dream, right? Then why don't you do that? I mean, I do it also in my treats where I will, like, usually I do it out in nature, and we walk through nature like we would approach it like a dream. But I recently had an urban retreat in London, so I sent them out for 2 hours to walk the streets of London and engage with their environment from the perspective of, is this a dream? Is this reality? Like, it was like a 2-hour long reality check. And everyone had to go out on their own and follow their own synchronicities. They came back, and a few of them felt like, you know what, that was life-changing. I talked to people I wouldn't have talked to before. I listened to my intuition. I followed synchronicity, and funny and cool things happened. So, I mean, this is the
best reality check is when you live in full awareness.
Yeah.
of your environment. I do that all the time. And you know what? This is the crazy part. I'm not crazy. This is the normal part. And that is that when I am, you know, lucid dreaming awake, I guess you could call it waking dream. And things begin to change. Like it's no longer like at that point, you've changed the way things are going to show up. You've actually co-creating the reality at that point. It's like a present manifestation, which is why synchronicities happen. But yeah, pay attention to patterns, words, type of colors, people, and you'll see that there begins to emerge a certain recurring thing, and that those things are fun to make a note of because they're symbolic. Like that's when you can begin to understand the message that your waking dream is giving to you, because when you wake up, your dream continues. It just continues in a different form, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's your consciousness having an experience. It is our perception of this amazing thing called awareness, of being present, alive, and conscious and awake, and you know, it's amazing stuff. So don't let it stop in your waking times too. Everyone, it seems to want to do this lucid dreaming stuff to escape something, escape the reality, and it's like you can bridge it all through so that it's all one sort of seamless, amazing experience. And it's called the experience of consciousness, of being alive.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah. Do you see my shirt?
I
wore my
love it. Oh, what about my shirt? No, there's no shirt. There's just boobs.
Who's the biggest geek? Okay, you win. You're the hottest one.
I don't want to flash you.
Got a lucid boner going on right now.
Go take care of that lucid boner.
Quick, get myself in a lucid dream.
Funny. All right. Well, I guess that's it for today's message.
Yeah, keep on dreaming. Keep on dreaming the dream.
And wake the freak up. The freak has a lot to say and a lot to observe.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
See you later, dreamers.